Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to remove and install a Hollowtech II crankset. The tools you'll need are Hollowtech II crank tool, a 5mm Allan Key, an external bottom bracket tool. Start by loosening off the two 5mm Allan Key bolts on the left hand crank arm. You don't have to take them out completely, just enough so they're loose. Then using your Hollowtech crank tool, take the end cap off the crank arm. Using a flathead screwdriver, lift the plastic tab between the crank bolts. This is just there to help stop the crank from falling off if your bolts come loose. Now the crank arm should come off. Take the chain off the chainring and sit it on the bottom bracket cup. Now you can remove the cranks altogether. Just watch your hands because the chainrings can be a little bit sharp. Using your bottom bracket tool, undo the left cup. Once it's a little loose, should be able to do the rest by hand. Give it a bit of a clean. This is a new bike, so it's not that dirty, but yours probably will be. Now we'll do the same to the other side. Main difference is this side goes clockwise, whereas the left side goes counterclockwise. Although, if you had an Italian threaded bottom bracket, this side would go counterclockwise as well. Now we want to grease up the threads. I'm using Shimano's specific anti-seize grease, but you can use any bicycle grease in the bottom bracket. This is going to help stop the cups seizing up in the frame and to stop the bike from creaking in the bottom bracket area. We'll do the same to the other side. Bottom brackets tend to have an issue with creaking, especially if they don't have any grease in there. Now we'll clean up the bottom bracket cups. Have a feel of the bearings at this point. If they feel pretty rough, it's probably worth putting in a new one. Otherwise, we'll just give them a clean and a grease. They are sealed bearing set, so you can't really get to the bearings themselves without damaging something. So if they are no good, just buy a new bottom bracket. Pop the dust seal into the right hand cup, so that will keep it clean. Then we'll pop the right hand cup into the frame and do it up. There is a torque setting printed on the side of the cup, but as long as it's nice and tight, it should be right. Otherwise, you can torque it up if you've got the tools. Now we'll do the same on the left hand side. Now we'll pop some grease into the inside of the bottom bracket cups. This will help the axle slide in nicely and further prevent any creaking. Now we can stick the cranks back in. Make sure the chain's gone between the cranks, as it's easy to put back on this way. You can now stick the chain back on the chainring. Now we can stick the left hand crank on. Push the little plastic tab back in. And we'll do it up with the Hollowtech II crank tool. This pretty much has to go up finger tight, because it's going to be the load on the bearings, so you do not want to over tighten this, or you might end up damaging the bearings. So you can pretty much do it up as tight as it'll go with your hands. Now, with your 5mm Allan Key, we'll do up the two pinch bolts, starting with the inside one and ending with the inside one. You always want to end on the inside bolt, because if the outside bolt's tighter, you can sometimes start pulling the arm off the axle. which you don't want to happen. Go back and forth until both bolts are nice and tight. There is a torque setting printed on the side of the crank arm, but as long as they're nice and tight, then you should be fine. Spin the cranks backwards, just have the feel of the bearings, make sure you haven't over tightened them, and then you're pretty much done. Thanks for watching. Leave all questions in the comments section below, and peace out.